Do I love stadiums because of what they are, or because of where they take me? My answer would be to unfurl a large city map, if not of Buenos Aires, then of Prague, perhaps, or Melbourne, or Los Angeles, and simply say, look for yourself. The two cannot be separated. Unfurling Mario's gorgeous map, so large it extended from one side of a double bed to the other, so large it extended from one side of a double bed to the other, I saw that it covered not only the city of Buenos Aires, the capital federal as it is known, but also the numerous adjoining municipalities which together form Gran Buenos Aires, from Quilmes on one side of the bed to Tigre on the other, from the Rio de la Plata down by my knees up to the Aeropuerto International, curled up towards the pillows. Ringed by the kiosk owner who had sold Mario this map were familiar names such as Boca Juniors, River Plate, Racing, Independiente, and Argentinos Juniors. After devouring the map closer and closer still, further rectangles of green and more club names than I'd ever dared to imagine leapt off the shiny colour-tinted paper like twinkling gems on a Persian rug. Mario and his man had delivered. So had Buenos Aires. It was then that I accepted my fate. One day I knew I would have to conquer this city of stadiums, this Ciudad de los Estadios. I owed it to myself, but more, I owed it to this map. The years went by. I travelled to hundreds of other stadiums in dozens of other cities, but none came near to the Buenos Aires of my fevered imagination. Not even Rio de Janeiro. Ha! I had managed to visit nearly all the stadiums of Rio in barely 2 days. But in Buenos Aires I had already counted over 20, and there were bound to be more. Eventually, when the time was right, Mario spoke to Andrea, Andrea rang Fernando, Fernando spoke to Carlita, and as invariably occurs when one enters a circle of Latinos, names of friends and friends of friends merge into one, and in time a solution was found. It was arranged. I would stay in Buenos Aires at the Palermo apartment of Enrique, a man, an unusual man, shall we say, with whom my wife and I, plus Andrea and Mario, had shared a French farmhouse holiday several years earlier. Enrique and I had not hit it off. His egotism had crushed mine. His talent in song, in music, in the kitchen, had reduced me to the role of an embittered onlooker. But maybe this time would be different. His hospitality, I was assured, was legendary. Meanwhile, I had to find an interpreter, because my O-level Spanish could now be described as the equivalent of a TV company. That is, a gran nada, a large nothing. I would also need a driver and an expert on Buenos Aires. I took it as read that anyone who satisfied that last category would also be an expert on football. Preferably, one person able to satisfy all 3 requirements would emerge. Marcella, my friend in London, directed me to Pablo in Buenos Aires. He was keen, but would be filming in New York. Then Marcella's 21-year-old sister, Jimena, she was also up for it. But when we met in London, she seemed too slight and beautiful for such a demanding assignment. Another contact called Roy had some ideas. Eric at the Buenos Aires Herald said he would do all he could to help, but I was beginning to think I might have to conquer La Ciudad de los Estadios alone, when within a few days of leaving, a fax arrived. Pablo was proposing his brother, Mariano, or El Turco, as they called him at school, because his surname, Salomon, sounded vaguely Turkish. I liked what I read about Mariano, and not merely because I was desperate. And so, a few faxes later, our blind date was settled. In a Clerkenwell cafe on the day before my flight, I showed Marcella my hit list. By now it had grown to at least 16 stadiums, with a further 10 or so in reserve. I wanted to know, really wanted to know, the distances, the traffic, negotiating streets which stretched across a double...